I had heard tales of a mysterious place in the woods, but I never expected to find it. When I stumbled across a strange path that seemed to lead to something hidden, I couldn't help but follow it. It was a path that was barely visible, and it seemed to be leading me somewhere I had never been before. I was both excited and scared, but I kept going, determined to discover the mysterious place I had heard so much about. Determined to discover the mysterious place I had heard so much about. As I continued along the path, I began to hear strange noises coming from the woods. It sounded like a mix of chirping birds, buzzing insects, and rustling leaves. I had never heard such a strange combination of sounds before, and it made me feel uneasy. I stopped in my tracks and listened intently, trying to determine the source of the noise. As I listened, the noise grew louder and more intense, and I realized that I was getting closer to the mysterious entrance. The adventurers were surprised when they heard a voice coming from the shadows of the forest. As they cautiously approached, they were met with a group of friendly creatures. These creatures had been living in the forest for years, and were eager to share their stories with the adventurers. The adventurers were amazed to learn about the history of the forest, as well as the creatures that inhabited it. They were also surprised to learn of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. Despite the fear, the adventurers were glad to have made friends in the forest, and were eager to learn more and more. I had heard stories of the mysterious forest from the elders in my village. They said it was a place of magic and wonder, where strange creatures roamed and powerful forces lurked. I had always been curious to explore this mysterious place, but I was also a little afraid. As I ventured deeper into the forest, I could feel the power and energy emanating from the trees and the animals that lived there. I was mesmerized by the beauty and majesty of the forest, and I wanted to discover more about its secrets. As I continued to explore the forest, I encountered some strange and frightful creatures. They were small and furry, with large eyes and long tails. They seemed to be in a constant state of alert, and I was certain they were watching me. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized these were the friends that the old man had warned me about. These were the friends that the old man had warned me about. My spine. I quickly backed away, not wanting to take any chances. As I made my way out of the forest, I was grateful that I had heeded the old man's warning. The frightful friends had given the group a scare, but they were relieved to find that they were only playing around. After a few moments of gathering their wits, the group started to make their way back out of the forest. As they walked, they could hear the laughter of the friends echoing through the trees, and it reminded them of the joy of the adventure they had just experienced. Even though they had been scared, they were grateful for the experience and the knowledge they had gained. They left the forest with a newfound appreciation for the creatures that lurk within its depths. In conclusion, the adventure of meeting the friends of the forest was a remarkable experience. It was a journey full of surprises and excitement, as the story of the forest and its frightful friends were revealed. It was an experience that will be remembered for a long time, and it was a great way to spend the day. All in all, the entire experience consisted of a total of words. I continued along the path, my curiosity growing with each step. I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing up, a sign that something was off. I heard the strange noises again, this time louder and more persistent. I started to feel a bit uneasy, but I kept going, determined to reach the end of the path and find out where it led. As I walked, I noticed that the path was becoming more and more overgrown, with trees and bushes encroaching on either side, making it almost impossible to see what lay ahead. As I continued to follow the path, I noticed a large, imposing entrance at the end. It was surrounded by a wall of thick, thorny vines, making it impossible to enter. I was mesmerized and intrigued by the mysterious entrance, and started to wonder what could be hidden behind it. I cautiously approached the entrance, and as I did, I could feel a strange energy emanating from it. I knew that I had to find a way to get inside and explore whatever secrets were hidden within. In conclusion, this chapter has provided a comprehensive overview of the strange and mysterious events that occurred on that fateful night. From the strange sounds that seemed to come from nowhere, to the path that led to the mysterious entrance, each detail has been explored. With a total of words, this chapter has provided a concise yet detailed account of the events that night. The sun was setting, and the shadows of the trees were slowly stretching out across the forest. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and the rustle of leaves in the wind. As the group of adventurers stepped into the forest, they felt a chill run down their spines. They were entering a strange and unfamiliar world, and they had no idea what was waiting for them. The only thing they knew for certain was that they had to be brave and strong if they wanted to make it out alive. Stepping into the forest, the darkness seemed to close in around us. The trees were twisted and gnarled, and the shadows seemed to move and dance in the moonlight. The air was thick with the smell of decay and the chirping of strange, unseen creatures. The darkness was so thick that it seemed to swallow up any light that dared to venture into the forest. We continued on, feeling a growing sense of dread as we ventured deeper into the dark forest. As I ventured further into the forest, I began to notice strange creatures lurking in the shadows. I could see their red eyes peering out from the darkness, and I could hear their low growls and snarls in the night. I was both terrified and mesmerized by the creatures, and I couldn't help but feel that I was being watched. I quickly realized that the only way to find out what these creatures were was to explore further and find out for myself. As I ventured deeper into the forest, I came across a large cave. The entrance was shrouded in darkness, and I could feel an eerie chill in the air. I hesitated for a moment before I decided to take a closer look. Taking a deep breath, I stepped into the cave and was met with a musty smell. I could feel the walls around me, cold and damp. I could hear the faint sound of running water, and I could see faint glimmers of light in the darkness sound of running water. I cautiously made my way through the cave, my heart racing with anticipation. I eventually reached the end, and I was relieved to find that the cave was empty. I was glad to have explored the cave, but I was also glad to have made it out unscathed. Having explored the strange creatures of the dark forest, I was ready to continue my journey. I felt a sense of anticipation as I made my way towards the cave, the final destination of my journey. As I walked, I was amazed by the beauty and mystery of the forest, and I was grateful for the opportunity to experience it, After a few hours of exploration, I had reached my goal, and I was proud to have accomplished the task I had set out to do. With a sense of accomplishment, I looked around, taking in the sights and sounds of the forest, and I realized that I had experienced more than words could ever describe.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from us. We'll be bringing you more exciting stories and videos like this one. See you next time.